Hi there, and welcome to the It's All Good Mining and Repair channel. I'm Brian. I hope you're having a great Monday. Well, today we've got an issue, or I've got an issue, and that is if you look right there, failed to detect ASICs. Oh man, what's going on with that? So actually, if you dig deep in the logs like I did, I'll find out that I've got 64 out of 65 chips found. So what you see here is my first S17 Plus miner that I ever bought. And I bought this as a reference miner for all the boards that I was buying to repair. So the idea was I would, if I ever needed to, I could take one of the boards out and, measure values and so forth. But I would always have at least one good working S17 Plus miner. This is what I call my Antminer 01. So board 2, finally, as we see there, it failed to detect chips. Now, the bummer for me is that today, this morning in Texas, the intake air temperature for my farm is 61 degrees. So that means I should be hashing more. That's why if you look right there, yeah, right there, you can see that it shows the board's running at 600 megahertz. So, man, it's just great opportunity really to squeeze some extra hash out of this miner. So let me go get the board out and we'll dive into it and figure out which chip has died since it's 64 out of 65 ASICs. Be right back. Okay, well, I got the board out of the miner. Now, this miner came with all the upgrades in place as far as the heatsink modification had already been done. Life was good. This is why I really enjoyed getting this miner as my first miner, because it was the kind of miner that I wanted to build all my other miners to be like. So here we are now. We've got this is the nice split three heatsink upgrade. And well, as you can see up there in the tester, we've got all 65 chips. So what am I going to do? I'm going to let this thing run in temperature sense mode. That will warm the hashboard up. I'm also running at 21 volts, which usually makes the hashboard run hotter on the bench. So I'm going to run it there and get the temperatures up so that they're in the 60s on the chip side of things. And then I'll start doing some other testing, doing some low voltage testing and so forth. Because the report from the miner was that I had 64 out of 65 chips. So I'll see if I can get this to recreate the problem once I get some heat in it. I'll be back. Okay, so hopefully the noise isn't too loud. I actually have a 240 volt circuit just here on my bench. So I took one of my extra miner cases and I shoved the board back in it and I stuck it off to the side. And as you can see there on the screen, we're still getting 64 out of 65 chips detected. And I have turned everything I can. If you look at the browser there, you can see I've turned everything on I can to try to get this thing to boot and run. So I'm going to, I guess, take it back out, and I'll take it out of the miner and I'll I guess the next step is to take the board or take the heat sinks off and start measuring the voltage on every single chip. Let's just find out, because something's got to be weak. What I was hoping to do is take the lazy way out and get this thing at least mining a little bit, and I could identify what the weak chip is so I kind of have an idea where to go. Didn't get lucky on that one, so let's get into it the old-fashioned way. Take it apart, test everything. Okay, so I've got the board out, and let's just dive into it. I was going along. I was like, "Ooh, let's get into it." And totally realized I was not recording this. So I've already taken those loose, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one piece off at a time, because maybe then I don't have to take the whole hashboard apart, right? Well, that's fun. Note to self: don't extract it that way. I have 4 plastic inserts, but I have 6 screws. So I dropped 2 on the floor, and since I don't have any spares, I have to go look for these. I'll be right back. Okay, well, that was fun. So one of them fell on my keyboard that's just underneath the bench, and the other one fell on the ground and rolled. It's amazing. I have less than a 10 by 10 room that I'm working in, and yet this managed to get to the most unusual spot, unexpected spot I could ever imagine. So, but it's back. Oh, thank goodness. These are real interesting. These are very close to the Thanos heat sinks. If you need a heat sink like this, check the Brian's Recommends link down below. I've got a link to these from a reputable company that I've done business with. Click on the link, and you too can get some like this. All right, so let's dive into this one. What the heck did they do? This is the first time I've taken this apart, so I really don't know what to expect. I want to be careful. I wonder if they use thermal tape. You know? There we go. Just as you saw, I slipped in there and just gave it a light lift, and it popped loose. Not thermal tape. It's interesting paste. It's a pink thermal paste that I have not. Oh, hey, there you go. You want to know what kind of heat sinks these are? NBTC. So these are the NBTC ones. You can do a Google search on this, and you can see an install video. Okay, cool, neat. Just personally, I think this particular product is overpriced, but you do you, boo. Now, I will say this about this versus the heatsink grease that I use. The cleanup. Let me show you this up close. Look at that. I mean, it just virtually nothing to clean up. It's almost like a thermal tape glue. All right, well, let's get into this. Let's do a little bit of quick cleanup. Maybe I can find, if anybody knows where to get this stuff, this is kind of nice. A lot easier to clean up than the grease, right? Okay, let's see what we get. I'm gonna go to tester mode here. And of course, we get 65 chips. Oh, why, of course. So let me see, what am I on? I'm on CI, so let's test our CI. That doesn't surprise me, because I see a lot of boards that this tester says CI is good down here at 46. sorry. Down here, well, after 45, but whenever I go across 46, it'll say no CI. I've had multiple boards show me this problem. So, that's nothing surprising. All right, let's flip over from that. Let me go to voltage readings. So, okay. I don't know what else to do, but since it can't be found in I'm missing a chip in the miner, but I'm not missing a chip. And I run my tester, so the only thing I can do is check voltages. Odd. Okay, well. Let me take these off and we'll do the same thing. Okay. Taking the heat sinks off did not break anything. Let's do this. Let's actually see. Okay, 40 is fine. 50 is fine. I wasn't sure what that might tell me. All right, let's just start from the beginning and we'll measure all the way through. I think there's something in this domain right here that is not happy. But I can't prove it 100%. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6th domain. So you're looking at 10, 20, 30. So 26 through 30. Let me do a visual inspection because I'm kind of running out of ideas here. Oh, looky here. What do we have? Teeny tiny solder ball. Okay. Maybe. Got an idea. Let's go ahead. Let me go back to the overhead. There's just so many solder balls I'm finding in this that I'm going to go ahead and put this in my alcohol bath. Just one thing real quick. So I went ahead and marked this board as 102 because it's the number 2 board in the number 1 miner I ever bought. So it's not really a repair board. It's not a no fix board that I'm rebuilding. So this will be 102. Obviously, board 1 will be 101, and board 3 will be 103. But anyway, let me grab my stuff and I'll be right back. Okay, so I need to clean this out, obviously. Just need to run a filter through, or run it through a filter. But the cool part is, it'll still work for today. Take some of these heat sinks that I've got, and I'll slip one on each side. It's a handy dandy way to prop up things so that you can concentrate the alcohol on one side. Let's go up close. I feel like I'm getting in the way right now, so I'm going to turn my camera off. All right, let's get back to visual inspection now. Just start with chip 1. right, so if anybody knows how to get this plastic off, it's a coating from the factory. I've tried heating it up, and that works pretty good, but it's a slow and tedious process to get it off. Sometimes you can get it to flake like that, but you got to be careful you don't cut into the board. So just to show you what I'm working with, Sonic Hair, with a fairly flat head. It helps for really going to town. I don't use this when I'm scrubbing the when I put a board in an alcohol bath, but it does help whenever you're trying to get these little bitty spots like this one. Just make sure you put the head on the board before you turn it on. Hey, whew, thank you for hanging in there. If you got through all of this, kudos to you. This was a long process going through and checking all 65 chips. I'm sure I'll put the exact amount of time it took somewhere up there, just so you have a reference when you're watching this later. I'm going to give this a chance to dry, and then I'll be right back and we'll test it. Okay, we're going to put it on a tester. I'm not done. I'm not ready to put this back in the miner. I want to go ahead and clean off the tops of the chips, because there are a lot of chips that need cleaning, and I want to put this thing in an alcohol bath one more time to make sure that any solder balls that I might have dropped get washed away. So let me hook it up on the tester, and I'll be right back. 65 chips. So the good news is I didn't break anything. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm cleaning up a board or something, and I do more damage than I did good. All right, let's stop this thing. Let's go into the temperature mode. Let's see what it looks like on temperature mode. You look up in the top there. All right, so number 1 is 27 and 44. Number 2, which is on chip 15, is 30 and 48. Number 3, which is on chip 51, is 27 and 44. And temp sense 4, which is down on 55, and that is 35.56. All right, so that's all good. Like I said, I want to clean up these. I want to clean up all of these tops of the chips because they really weren't cleaned right. So I want to do it the right way, and then we'll put it in an alcohol bath, and then we'll heat sink grease it and get it back in the miner. All right, I moved things around, and honestly, I had to take a break because, well, I don't. The last recording session I did was 3 hours long. I'm pretty sure that just cleaning the chips took over an hour. What we're going to do now is we're going to use this Kester 186 no clean flux. This stuff is, it says mildly activated rosin. There's no mildly about it. This is some pretty heavy duty stuff. So I've got my handy dandy soldering iron with the number 3 tip, as I call it. There's one bigger, like that's what I call my number 4. There's my number 2 that I normally keep on, and then there's this teeny tiny number 1, which I don't use that one. But anyway, so I call this my number 3. Oops, sorry, there it is. I call this my number 3. We're gonna just heat it up real quick with the solder wick and clean it up. And like I said, I'm going to use this Kester because it's dirty, but we're going to put this in an alcohol bath, so it doesn't really matter. So. Let me just look at that under the microscope real quick. Yeah, that, clean it up. We'll see. Even then. It could use some more cleaning. Let's clean it up. I guess we're going to use the microscope for this. Okay, so that does it, right? I've gone through, cleaned off the top of every single chip, and we're good to go. What I want to do now is, before I put the guard back on and put it in the bath, or maybe I'll put it in the bath and then I'll put the guard back on, I want to put the cooler underneath it. Turn the cooler on. Let's just check to make sure that I didn't upset any of the chips by putting that soldering iron on there. There we go. All right, good. Now this board is really sticky with the Kester mild rosin on there. It's really sticky, so I hope I don't have to do any testing or any troubleshooting because I just want to put this in an alcohol bath and be done. Woohoo! 65 chips. There we go. All right, good. Now, of course, it said 65 chips before, right? So I guess the thing is I didn't cause any damage. All right, I've got all the temperature sensors reading. So let me shut this off. Disconnect all this. All right, so the reason I flipped the board upside down is because that way we'll let the board just sit there it'll just sit there for a while in the alcohol and really loosen up that rosin before I flip it over and scrub it. So I'll be back after it's sat in there for about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so I just cleaned it up, and now the board's not going to be all sticky. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit just like this, upside down, for about 5-10 minutes. With all the air blowing, that'll really clean out, or it'll dry out the alcohol. And then I'll flip it over, and I'll do the same thing on the back side. So we'll let each side dry for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we'll put the heatsink grease on and put the heat sinks back in and stick it in the miner. Let's see what happens. I'll be back. All right, let's run the temperature sensor real quick. Okay, we've got temperature readings all across all 4 sensors. Let me get it in the miner real quick and we'll see what's going on. Okay, that sucks big time. So it looks like, if I flip everything around on my screens, so we see the same error message, right? 64 of 65 chips for chain 0. You can see it here as well. So let me go ahead and tell you about the pool I'm using, which is Pega pool. I started using Pega pool I guess a week and a half ago, and I just like Pega pool. Their fee is lower than, say, F2 pool. So if you want to try Pega pool for a little bit, you can use the link down below. If you do use the link down below, I get a little bit of the fee that you're already going to pay to the pool. The pool shares a little bit of that fee with me. And that will help the channel. So if you're mining and you want to try a new pool, click the link down below and come on over and enjoy Pega pool with me. If you want to stay where you are, or you're solo mining or something, hey, that's fine too. Thanks so much for watching. I am gonna keep working on this, but this is it for the day. This video has been long enough, even after I cut it all down. So we'll work on it some more on another day. Obviously, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I put out a new video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.